Welcome to the biggest show in the world, Sports Bettors TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the biggest show in the world, the hashtag SBTVNation. You're talking to my boy, The Dream, along with myself. What's going on, Playboy?
Ladies and gentlemen, people, SBTVNation, what's up? Dreams in the house. What's happening today, y'all?
You sound energetic today, ready to pop.
Oh, man, I just got the juices flowing. You know, did a little bit of football work last night as far as looking at some of the names and some of the guys and seeing who I'm going to eyeball for my fantasy team and seeing who I'm going to eyeball for week one. You know what I'm saying? I'm back and forth with a bunch of stuff, looking at some information. I just was so excited about the upcoming season. I just can't hold it back, man. The excitement's there. We are almost here.
I know, man. I know. A bunch of stuff going on. Some of them guys are a little excited about it, too, man. You see the Dallas Cowboys and the St. Louis Rams in their practice fighting like crazy, kid. They had a lot of two different fights. And obviously your boy Des Bryant was in the midst of it. With no helmet on, getting punched in the face. He got punched by, who was it? The corner, Imore Claiborne. Whacked him right in the face, kid. So I think they're going to be done with the practice like scrimmage games between these two teams.
Well, if ever there was a guy that you really didn't feel that bad about getting punched in the face, it would be Dez. And by the way, his mom didn't care either.
I know.
See how I feel?
Yeah, right.
I was looking at some of the top 25 just to go over real quick. We were looking at some of the for the football for your fantasy drafts. Guys, you know I am not a big running back proponent. I usually draft, obviously it depends on what type of league you're in the point system. Obviously look at that, take that into consideration.
Sure.
Just a few tips about fantasy. I'm not trying to tell you guys I'm dope, but I have won the league quite a bit. Even when I've been up against monster teams, I still ended up going out and winning the Super Bowl. So I don't know if you guys are into it, if maybe you're not. I know there's a lot of people that are. But a couple of things that I do is I like to get my quarterback right out of the gate. I like one of the top four. That means I'm either going to try to get, my man Rodgers. I'm going to try this year. My number one quarterback, obviously, I think I told you guys, I'm going for Luck. I want Luck this year.
You want Andrew Luck,
every year I target a guy, and I'm like, this is the guy I want. This is who I'm rolling with. And this year, Luck is my guy. I really want Luck. Expect big things out of there. Expect him to have a big year. And that's my guy who I'm eyeballing. But looking at the top 25, we got Adrian Peterson leading it off at the running back spot. Le'Veon Bell. Guys, question mark on Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell, in my opinion, is a little bit on the small side for a back. With the beating and the banging, the weather in Pittsburgh, and already having a little bit of, a pre-existing injury issues and coming back off of injury, I don't necessarily know that I would pick him in the number 2 spot personally. Well, obviously I wouldn't because I go for Andrew Luck anyway. But I think you should be a little bit careful with that pick because, question mark about how healthy his return is and when will he actually really be ready to go back to 100%. Keep that in mind when you're taking him, as you might not get any production out of him. As soon as you think, it might be later into the season before it comes. And at that point, your fantasy team could be a wrap. So keep that in mind when you're messing with Le'Veon Bell.
Got it.
You got Jamaro Charles III. You got Eddie Lacy out there as well. Marshawn Lynch, C.J. Anderson. C.J. Anderson is another guy that, I kind of like his running style a little bit. And Peyton Ball and those guys are supposed to be leading on the run a lot more than the pass this year as they're trying to preserve his arm later on in the game. So that might look, like a pretty good pickup as well.
Gotcha.
And I would move Anderson up a spot or two and move Bell down a couple of spots as well. Then you got Antonio Brown at the wide receiver spot. I expect him to have a great year.
Sure.
With Pittsburgh. Obviously, he's going to be dope. You got Jeremy Hill with Cincinnati. I don't know. He doesn't really do it for me. DeMarco Murray with Philly. I'm not going to get involved in that this year. I just got to see him in that offense. Guys, a lot of times you get these, get a mega star, coming to a new offense, new contract, move to a new city, all kinds of new things going on for him. Might forget the old way of running. So not saying that he's not going to have a stellar year because he might go out there and kill it, but I'd rather take a look and see what's there. I don't really go with a lot of question mark guys in the first few rounds. I try to get, the old faithfuls. You got Matt Forte. Gronk is always a monster, even though I'm not the biggest fan of him. And don't worry that Brady's not going to be there the first 4 weeks. Gronk will definitely he'll get his production, and even if he doesn't, he'll make up for it when Brady comes back, as he is his favorite target. Demaryius Thomas, guys, remember Peyton Manning has lost his tight end, so Demaryius Thomas is going to get probably that much more, passes thrown his way now that the tight end's gone. You got Julio Jones, of course, for Atlanta. Des Bryant, of course, for the Cowboys. And with no running game, keep an eye on Des Bryant, as the Cowboys will have to throw the ball a lot more.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And speaking of running backs, your boy Shady McCoy strained his left hamstring, dude. You know that the Bills are without right now their top 5 running backs, kid? They're without their top 5 running backs. Fred, go ahead.
And without a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, Fred Jackson, Bobby Dixon.
And without a top 5 whole bunch of stuff.
I know, man. They're resulting right now to two healthy undrafted running backs, Bronson Hill and Ricky Steele, man. But who's out is obviously LaShawn McCoy, Fred Jackson, Bobby Dixon, Bryce Brown, Carlos Williams, and the list goes on and on, man. So I guess Shady McCoy, man, they're going to have an MRI. I guess it's not a full tear. It's just a strain. That's what they're thinking. So and you already know that Percy Harvin's already having some hip issues over there, man. So if this, we got a couple weeks left until kickoff, man. If these guys aren't healthy, how are they going to look against the Colts? How are they going to, match offenses with the Colts, man, on week 1?
They're going to look like they're getting their butt whipped up and down the field. Guys, a couple of things about, about fantasy. Back to that again. I would keep an eye out. There's always that one running back that plays like Cleveland, that you never think that's going to be good, and then all of a sudden he opens the first week with a 300-yard game, and you're like, oh my God, how did that happen? You know what I'm saying? So keep an eye out for your sleepers. We will definitely get some people. I'm going to get some people on to talk a big deal about fantasy a little bit in the future, but just want to go over a few names and a few opinions. I think you're taking a big shot with Frank Gore this year. If you're thinking about taking Frank Gore for Indianapolis, I would fall back. I wouldn't take him too early, as there's a couple question marks there. I'm really interested in Victor Cruz, Odell Beckham. I'm interested in those 2 wide receivers and how that's going to pan out in New York with Eli. I just don't know. I'm trying to figure out, obviously Cruz is the one, and then Beckham emerges the phenom last year. So I just don't know how the 2 of them are going to share the ball. It'll be interesting to see them work that out. I don't necessarily know that you want to have either one of them on your team dealing with that particular situation. However, Cruz has been a little bit on the gimpy side. So, maybe obviously you go with, Odell Beckham, as he did look great. But the Giants, I'm never impressed with the Giants' passing game anyway. So I don't know about him. Not one of my favorite guys. A.J. Green's another guy that I'm not a big fan of. He's in the top 25. And it's not him. It's his quarterback, Dalton. And they just don't, I don't know. Cincinnati, A.J. Green has that 1 week where he has 180 yards, 15 catches, 3 touchdowns. Then the next 3 weeks he has 10 yards, 2 catches, no touchdowns. I can't be being agitated with a guy like him.
I know. Speaking of the Giants and Eli Manning, he's seeking to be the top paid quarterback in the league, man. Looking at numbers of $25 million a year, brother.
So, and I could tell. Listen, I'm sorry, Giant fans. I know you're gonna get mad at me, and I know Eli won you 2 Super Bowls. I gotta tell you something. I would not give Eli Manning that kind of money.
Yeah, he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, if not, man. But, that would be $3 million over Aaron Rodgers player.
I would not give Eli Manning that kind of money. I'd make him a reasonable offer. I don't know what that would be, but it's nowhere near what the numbers they're asking for. And I'd be like, listen, here's what we got on the table. If you want to stay here, we'd love to have you. If not, all good. Because, listen, they got to go at some point. They're going to have to go in another direction anyway. So I don't think – how many years is he looking for, player?
I'm not sure exactly how many years, but it was 25 million a year is what they're alluding to as far as his agent is concerned, man. So, hey, we'll see what ends up happening with that.
It's probably got a long tenure on it. It's probably got a bunch of years.
Yeah, he's still young.
He's probably looking to go ahead and you there?
Yeah, he's still young, so.
Right. Yeah, so I'm just not – I couldn't give him that kind of money.
I know. Well, hey, we'll see what ends up happening, and we'll go from there. So what else you got as far as football news before I journey into anything else?
Well, let's see. We got geez, dude, I don't know. We got, a bunch of stuff going on as far as football is concerned. As you had attested to, we had the fight in Dallas. And guys, I've been still worried about, and I talked about this yesterday, you guys really need to take a look at this Steeler defense.
Yeah, I know.
There's some big question marks there, and Rodney Harrison was supposed to retire last year. They brought him back. Now he's back in the cuff again. I don't really know what that's saying. You know what I'm saying? Because, okay, well, you didn't want him last year. You brought him back because you were desperate, and now you're starting off this year with him. So are you still desperate, or like what? Did he show you something now that he's still got another year? You didn't think he had a year left in him last year, so what? He showed you something that now he's got another year left in him? I don't know. I don't know. I'm really worried about this Steeler defense. It'll be great to see them this week. We can make a couple of bit more. We can figure out a little bit more what's going on with them, but be careful as they've lost a few people. A bunch of people are gone. Dick LeBeau is gone, as well as the defensive coordinator. And hey, there may be some issues in the defense.
Yeah, we got to start looking at some college football too, man. I'm looking forward to getting that started because we got a couple of weeks away till that, man. Been some big games that Thursday night, kid.
No doubt. You had somebody's quarterback or somebody who was in a quarterback race fell out yesterday. I'm trying to remember. I saw it at the gym. Their name flashed by. I believe it was the I can't think of his name. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll figure it out later.
All good, man. All good. So, Irvin's telling me that Shady McCoy will be ready for week 1. Probably. But you know what? That's no joke, that injury, man. So we'll see what ends up happening with that, and we will go from there. So, Dream. So tomorrow night we got some preseason football. There's a couple of them on the ticket, which I'm looking forward to breaking them down tomorrow, man. This Saturday, man, I'm doing MLB All-Stars. I'm getting Danny B on the line along with the Corona Picks and obviously the Evil Genius. And you will be off the map this weekend.
I will. I will be off the map. Unfortunately, I would be dying to get on that baseball show. But instead, I want to go out and see how fast my grass grows. Guys, talking about college football, this year I'm expecting it to be a little bit exciting. I know it looks like Ohio State's going to run away with it, according to everybody, all the experts, and of course Urban Meyer been all over TV trying to tell you how he got quarterback. He can't figure out the greatest coach that ever lived can't figure out who he's going to start for quarterback, so he has to flip a coin.
I know, man. I know.
So if anybody knows what quarterback they're going to start, trust me, it's Urban Meyer.
Couple of games tomorrow night, man. Detroit Lions at the Washington Redskins tomorrow, and the Buffalo Bills are playing at Cleve, the Browns. And Johnny Football, man. Looking forward to seeing what he's got going on, man, tomorrow night. So I wonder how many snaps he's going to get in that game.
I don't know, man, but they got to figure out what they're going to do.
Well, not so much, man. Not so much. I mean, if the Bills are that banged up and are down to a couple of undrafted rookies as running backs in the preseason game, it might be an ugly game for the Buffalo Bills in Cleve, dude.
Yeah, but Cleve still got to figure out, they do have a little bit of a quarterback controversy, what they're going to do with these guys.
Yeah.
And then, Cleve, they're going to keep, that stuff's going to run, and that's the problem, man. So, they're going to have that, their starting quarterback comes out by week 6, everybody will be yelling for Johnny Football.
Right, absolutely. Well, he does sell more jerseys than anybody. Surprisingly.
Hey, I love that. Maybe he should be a jersey seller then.
Exactly. Well, I know you don't want to do this, but your boy's got to talk a little baseball, man. And you probably might not be so upset about what I'm about to say, but your boy A-Rod broke out of his slump last night, man. 1 for 23 before the grand salami last night, man. I was at the gym, right? And I plugged the Yankees for the series. So I'm at the gym, and Minnesota Twins, because I've been going to the gym really late. Minnesota Twins are up 4-1, right? So bases get loaded, and at that time, I'm like, I got to go into the steam room, right? But I see A-Rod coming up to bat on my phone. So I'm like, all right, I think this game's a wrap. But A-Rod's up. I mean, I know he's slumping it all. I come out of the steam room, bang! Yankees 5-4, man. He hit a grand slam. I guess he's one of the all-time leaders in grand slams in history, bro.
Yeah.
So, that's something else. So the Yankees end up winning that and winning the first 2 out of 3 in that series. And, we'll see if the Houston Astros can win the second out of 3 games with the Tampa Bay Rays tonight, brother.
How my boy John Stanks make out yesterday?
Oh. The LA Angels did their thing, man.
I tell you, I got a couple pictures, man, in my radar that I know not to mess with. One is that Stanks, the other is that Guntry. I tell you right now, you see them cats on the mound, get out of there.
Yes. And Big Pelf wasn't that bad last night, man. He was holding it down for a while. It's kind of holding the Yankees' offense in check. So a couple of other news, man. Speaking of, let's see. Dave Dombrowski, the former president of the Detroit Tigers, has now got a job as the president of the Boston Red Sox, brother. So that didn't take that long. 2 weeks.
And I know, and I don't get, the president of the Red Sox, but, I don't understand, if your team is, how do you get, a president for another team?
Oh, it's just like coaches, man. It's just like, your boy Rex Ryan, kid. Within 2 weeks, he was the Bills coach.
Okay, but I don't mind Rex Ryan so much, all right? He did have some win. I mean, he did do some winning. It wasn't like the one that always questions me is Herm.
Your boy Herm.
From New York to KC, and then right into the booth.
Yeah, right.
like he won 4 Super Bowls, and then right into the booth.
That's your boy Herm.
Sits there. Herm kills me because he sits there and he just talks and talks and talks, and it's like, dude. You ruined 2 NFL teams. What are you talking about? Why would anyone listen to anything you have to say? I mean, I know Herm played the game, and I always give guys credit that played the game and made it to a professional level and played on a professional level. And he gets a lot of cool points for that, but he gets a bunch of points taken away for his coaching performance.
I concur 100%, man. And speaking of the Red Sox, I did come on the show and say Trevor Bauer would get blown up by them, didn't I?
You did, sir.
Crushed him, dude. He got crushed. I don't know exactly what his final numbers were, but I know the Red Sox were up 9-1. I was like, oh. So, hey, and you know what? They kept getting more and more favored as the day went on with them, dude. So, hey, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to look at those lines, and the Seattle Mariners too. My boy TK was, saying that they were going to win their game at the Texas Rangers, and they did their job. So. Let's get right into the baseball ticket and see what we got, Dream. Unless you got anything else.
Just want to thank everybody that's retweeting the show out there this morning. We got my man G Rose, Richard Comic, Snoopy Best, Clown Man Swag, Immaculate, Total Sports Edge, Jeff Ryan, Rich Nichols, BT, Benjamin Rowe, Dooms Knight, Chai Picks, Rick Lopez, Marlon Irvin, the Canadian Capper, INT, JC, Average Joe Punter out there in Australia. Oh, it's so dope to see you on every morning.
Yes.
Knowing you're way, way, way out there, so many miles away from us. So nice to see you on and checking us out, and that's just a big big hats off to you guys for tuning into the biggest show in the world. We appreciate you, as we appreciate everybody. P for Prez is out there, Heavy 365, Sir Mata, Carl Restevo, 5-1, C. Rodriguez Jr., Nicholas J, Spot Bet, Sin City Maverick, OJFB, Sirat King J, and Lone Star Ombre. My man Rick Lopez says, don't forget the USC Trojans, and we are not, brother. I expect them to do some things this year. They look like they're going to be a monster. We are not forgetting the USC Trojans as one bit.
Yeah, remember, I went on Ralph Cooper's show and was talking about them a little bit.
Yes, sir.
My kid seems to think that they're going to make the top 4.
I don't think that's too far out there of a statement. I'm expecting some pretty big things out of them too. We'll see. I mean, this is their year. This could be their year to really come out and impress. I do know that though. I'm expecting some good things out of Stanford as well, though. Yeah.
Well, I mean, whoever emerges out of the pack will have a pretty good shot at probably getting in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we'll see what ends up happening with that, and we'll go from there. But I think you're right, man. You know what you said on the radio show in Houston the other day, that TCU ski might be an issue.
Right.
So we'll see what ends up happening.
I'm hoping, brother. I mean, guys, obviously injuries, we've seen a few teams come out that were supposed to be dope, and didn't happen. So. Right. You don't get too excited about college. I mean, you get excited about college football, but as far as your predictions of who's going to be really, really good, sometimes you have to take that back a little bit because the kids don't always gel right. And then with college kids especially, man, losing that week 1 or week 2 can just send you in that free fall. How many times have we seen really good college teams lose week 1, week 2, then lose like 2 or 3 other games that they got no business losing. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here they come finally playing like they were supposed to, but lost all those games already. So it's like there's nothing you could do about it. And you're like, man, if you guys had just won those couple of games at the beginning of your season, you'd be, in the talk for the, for a playoff game. And we see it all the time. You know what I mean? In college football.
Right. Look at Arkansas last year. Lost a bunch of games, and then all of a sudden at the end, they wanted to start being monsters. You know what I mean? In the SEC. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what ends up happening. But I'd like to see what Auburn's going to do, because a lot of people are high on Auburn this year, man, in the SEC.
Auburn, man, broke my heart last year. I was up and down with them. I couldn't find the right time to bet them. And then when I bet against them, it was like wrong. Very hard to gauge that team last year. Some of those teams, I always struggle when you don't have a conventional quarterback. And maybe that's why I don't really care for Ohio State either. But you don't have that conventional that quarterback, that sits back in the pocket and throws the ball. I struggle with gauging your offense because I call it the trick offense, but it's not, but the run option in offense and the offense with a running quarterback, some weeks it's dope, some weeks it's dusty, depending on how the quarterbacks, you know what I mean? It all, you gauge it off the quarterback in a sense. And I know the defense plays into that too as well. Some defenses are better against it, faster linebackers up front, slower other people. But, it's very inconsistent to gauge for me.
I hear you. I totally hear you on that, man. So, we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, and there are some miscommunications that happen in that read option, between the quarterback and the running backs. You see a lot of fumbles sometimes with certain temes. You know what I mean? So,
you get the guys like Killer that don't ever want to give up the ball.
Killer Cam Newton.
Like, yo, give me the ball, man. Killer keeps just running into the outside linebacker, getting tackled, and you keep telling him in the huddle, yo, I'm open. Just give me the ball. Killer's like, okay. And then that's why the fights. By the way, that's why a lot of the fights be happening out there, because cats get agitated. You keep going out there running the pattern, doing what you're supposed to do, and the people who are supposed to be doing what they're doing ain't cooperating, so getting agitated.
Killer Cam Newton, man.
Especially in college, because cats are trying to get in the NFL, so they're like, yo,
give me the ball.
I'm giving you the ball, son.
I wonder how Killer Cam Newton's going to do this year with the Carolina Panthers.
I don't know. I know they didn't get him no weapons again.
No, I know. He never has weapons around him.
Well, they really don't got him this year. They just told him, Killer, go out there and get him playing.
Oh, I know. Hey, we'll see what ends up landing with that. But I think that division is wide open, man.
Yeah, it is.
Between Atlanta and Breezy with, they did make an addition to, what's his name there? They did bring Spiller in the lineup, but hey, we'll see what ends up happening without Jimmy Graham, dude.
Yo, my man, my man Julio Jones said that he found an extra gear. I was like, yo, maybe you should get that gear to Matty Ice, because he don't seem to get out of first for some reason.
I hear you, man.
That Atlanta team, man, they are like the greatest thing that never is. Every year they look dope. They got the dope two wide receivers, Julio and him, and they had Matty Ice. In years past, they had Gonzalez as well at the tight end spot. And you always expect them to do something, man.
Always.
It's like every year, like,
Always, man. Always. So, hey, we'll end up seeing where it goes. But that, you never know what Tampa Bay is going to do either, man. You know, you just don't know.
And I know you do. Do y'all remember Jake Delhomme?
Oh, Shaky Jake.
I had to call him Shaky Jake because me had Jake Delhomme one year. I think it was his last year he played.
Oh, that was
in the
brutal.
Playoff game. We had lost the week before with Peyton Ball, or the night before. I forgot how it worked. I know it was a playoff situation, or it might have been the game before. Well, we had money on Peyton Ball, and of course he got us like always.
Yeah.
So we like doubled down, and I'm talking. This is we doubled. Oh man, I forgot all about this. But Jake Delhomme ended up that game throwing like 6 interceptions.
Oh, I know.
I forget how many it was, but it was like we were like a wrap. Like in the second quarter, it was like done.
I know. Tell me about it, man. Shaky Jake, and they actually had to lead in that game for a minute there, and then all of a sudden he just went ham with all the interceptions. It was like he was throwing it to the other team like purposely or something. It was like, dude, what are you doing?
Purposely, and we're sitting there, and the two of us are like, all right, okay, we can do it. Okay, we're good. We can withstand that, no problem. And then do another one, and we're like, all right, no, we're good. You know how you still always got that last minute hope? Then finally, like Jake was like, yo, stop hoping, because watch this. And then I was like, yo, what is he doing?
Oh, I know. Terrible, man. Terrible. So, hey, whatever. It is what it is. And hopefully we don't have any of those situations this year, players.
No doubt.
All right, man, we're already at 9:33, and it is time to get involved with your favorite sport in the world, and that is baseball, Dream. So, sorry to do this to you, but, hey, your boy has to, man. So let's see what we got going on, and we will go from there, guys. So all right, so let's jump right into the MLB card and see what we got popping. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 during the day today, Dream, on this beautiful hump day, and I'd like to see what the weather's doing. So far out here in New England, it's looking pretty sunny and nice, so I don't really think that there's going to be any issues with Minnesota and New York today. The Minnesota Twins
off at 1 o'clock.
Kicking off at 1:05 Eastern Standard Time. You got the Minnesota Twins at the New York Yankees. Minnesota is bringing in Irvin Santana versus Nathan Eovaldi. New York Yankees minus 180 juice with an under-over of 9 runs, Dream. What do you got going on here?
We've got Mr. Eovaldi, 12-2, 4.26 ERA. 12-2 with a 4.26 ERA says a lot about run support right there. Yep. The Yankees are, as you know, 34-21 at home. They're very good at home. 66-52 all around. Hatter had declared them elderly just a week ago, and it then looks like that they now found the fountain of youth back to their winning ways. Santana, who is elderly, coming in, is 2-3 with a 5.66 ERA. The Twins, 59-60, 21-36 on the road.
New York Yankees are holding a 1-game lead over the Toronto Blue Jays, and they got to continue to win because that Blue Jay team, I told you that game was going to be a little scary yesterday. The Phillies had to lead almost the whole game. Toronto ended up coming back and scoring. I want to say it was like 4 runs in maybe the top of the 7th or something like that. Took an 8-5 lead and, finished the game off. But, R.A. Dickey, my boy Vince Parker said the knuckleball would hang a little bit and Philadelphia would get all up on him. And sure enough, they did score 5 runs right out the gate there. In this game particularly, guys, if you look at it, I mean, both offenses are pretty potent. Minnesota is 7-16 in the last 23 games. We're emerging as that wild card winner and have suddenly saw themselves a couple of games back now. They're 1-5 straight up in the last 6 when playing the New York Yankees. And, the Yankees, like I said, I mean, Minnesota's one of the worst teams in the league as far as their road record. Dude, they only win about 37% of their games on the road. Right. That means every 2 out of 3 they lose. So when you look at this, I mean, the New York Yankees are very heavily favored here. I would expect them. I just don't know what they do during the day, Dream. I don't know if you have anything like that. I'm sure you don't have any trends like that. But if the SBTV Nation has it, please let me know. I'd like to see what the Yankees do, especially after playing a game the night before. For this particular game here, I think the Yankees get it done. Evaldi's one of the hardest throwing pitchers in the league and should be able to hold them down. When you look at Evaldi's last few starts, let me just take a look real quick. Evaldi.
Come on, player. Let's move.
All right.
Yankees got this.
All right. Well,
Tan is 2-3 with a 5.66.
I know. Cleveland, at Cleveland, he pitched 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and versus Toronto at home, which is very impressive, 6 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run. What are you playing in the background? Some music?
It's my cell phone.
Oh, okay, all right.
I love how you just stick me out all the time. Just can't keep just rolling through it, son. Keep rolling through. Tell me some more about the Yankees for another 15 minutes.
I still have yet to block you. I got to block you on Twitter. All right, let's see. Seattle coming into Texas. Seattle, Mike Montgomery. Texas, Derek Hollard. Texas minus 130 with an under-over of Dream 9.5 runs. My God.
That's Derek Holland, by the way, with 0-1 with a 9.00
well, that'll do
ERA.
it. That'll do it. That'll do it. That'll make the run total crazy.
It's covered in with the big ERA.
Yes. Total's going over in 6 of the last 8 Seattle games on the road. Texas 5-1 in their last 6. We're riding a 5-game winning streak until yesterday's loss. You know, when I look at this game here, Toronto, let me see. Texas, I'm sorry.
I opened up the show with yesterday talking about Texas was dope. You got to watch out for them. They're up and coming. Breathe it down. Use this back. And
they are.
They are. Their speed. Oh.
No, but you know what? Hey, what did we say yesterday? We said, because.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yep, so.
But you're not supposed to lose to the Mariners player.
No, I know, but, listen. No, we talked about it, man, because Seattle was favored, and it was kind of a head-scratcher. So we said stay away from that one, and sure enough, boom. Seattle ended up winning that game. You would think Texas should bounce back here, but you got this pitcher with a crazy 9 ERA. So you know what, guys? Fall back. Don't even mess with this game because you never know if this guy gets blown up in Texas. That's why the run total is 9.5, man. It's kind of crazy, especially with the Texas bats scoring over 4 runs a game, 4.5 runs to be exact. So we'll keep it moving from that, guys. Just be careful there. Miami versus Milwaukee. Miami, Tom Kohler. Milwaukee, Wiley Peralta. Milwaukee minus 150. Under/over total of 8 runs. I don't like this game at all, Dream. Just tell me real quick what the respective ERAs are.
Yes, sir. Peralta for the Milwaukee Brewers, who you have to win the World Series, 3-7 with a 4.07 ERA. And the Marlins, Scott Kohler going 8-10 with a 3.68 ERA, brother. And your future's looking bright.
Oh, God. Well, anyway, hey, like I said, man, I already got that back, so I'm good.
No doubt.
Let's go into the next one here. The L.A. Dodgers, man. The L.A. Dodgers, who win 44% of their games on the road. Lost last night with Mr. Clayton Kershaw. I didn't expect Oakland to score that many runs, so, I was thinking they'd score under 3.5, and sure enough, they ended up scoring 5 yesterday. But LA's got Alex Wood on the mound versus Oakland's Jesse Chavez. LA, do it. Oh, my God, bro. Minus 230 with Alex Wood with an under-over of 6.5. I think they messed up here. What do you got there?
Yeah, I don't have minus 230. I have minus 127, but my line is the ESPN line, which is usually a little bit off from what you have, but not that much.
Yeah, you know what? There's something wrong here, guys. They must be subbing in Greinke because there's no way in hell Alex Wood is going to be minus 240. So I think your line is probably more correct, Dream.
Yeah, no doubt. Guys, check that out. But listen, the thing I want to mention about this is Rick Lopez had told me before that this is actually a little bit of a rivalry, the Dodgers and the A's.
I could see it.
Go ahead, say that.
I could see that.
Yeah, so that's one thing to always keep in mind. Chavez is on the mound for Oakland. He's 6-12 with a 3.84 ERA. The Athletics are 28-34 at home. Wood is 8-7 with a 3.74 ERA. Dodgers are 25-32 on the road.
All right, so when I take a look at this game, guys, the LA Dodgers, they kind of scare you on the road a little bit, but they will get one of these games. This might be the spot to do it, when they're a minus 127. This is a pitcher's park there in Oakland. 6, dude. It can't be 6.5 either. My line's got to be wrong here, Dream.
I think so.
You know what? Hey, you know what you do? If you can get that, get that line somewhere and then somewhere else get something different, I think you can, be good on both sides, man. So I'll pull it up in a minute, guys. But when I look at this game, I don't know if I want to get involved in this. I'll be honest with you. I think I would.
Swag just said he's got it at the Dodgers are minus 140, so that sounds like it's probably more a little bit more accurate there. You probably are getting junky lines. Is your
Yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, you know what? It is what it is, and we will keep it moving to the next one here because I don't really like the Dodgers on the road. I got to be honest with you, man. I'll wait till they come home. I mean, even though the juice is heavy when they get home, I'll wait on that. The next nasty game we have is Atlanta at San Diego. Atlanta, Julio Teheran. San Diego, Tyson Ross. San Diego minus 170 juice with an under-over of 6.5 runs. Dream, what you got there?
All right. San Diego has Ross on the mound. He's 8-9 with a 3.40 ERA. The Padres are 28-29 at home. You guys know I can't stand this Padre team. The Braves are coming in 21-42 on the road. Teheran is 8-6 with a 4.44 ERA. Brother, can you explain to me why you have the slow jam version of that track playing in the background?
Is it the slow jam?
Yeah, that is not the regular version. I'm like, what is that?
You think so?
I thought he was on KCOH for a minute. Doing the slow jams.
All right, man. Let me get a little.
KCOH is the station that we are on our Fridays, and 2 weeks ago we made our debut. Right before we went on, they were having like a who sang the best slow jam, and it was like Luther Vandross versus like Bobby Womack or
Brian
something.
McKnight.
And we're listening to it before we're about to go on. We're all amped, jumping up and down in the office, trying to keep our energy. And then we turn on this station and we look at each other. We're like, "What's this?"
I know. I'm sure a lot of the nation heard that too. You know what I mean? Because they were getting ready for us to come on. Let's see. So Atlanta, going back to that line with LA Dodgers and the Oakland A's. LA minus 140. I have now with a run total of 8 runs. So that makes a little bit more sense, man. I don't know. I think this book messed up with as far as thinking that Greinke was on the mound or something like that. So Atlanta, San Diego, I have no opinion on this, man. I know Atlanta's really, really bad on the road. They're one of the worst teams actually on the road. When you look at them, 2-6 in their last 8 games, 2-7 in the last 9 when playing San Diego. And San Diego, believe it or not, 4-1 in their last 5 games, Dream. But you know what? For me, I have no opinion on this game whatsoever. I think I'm going to keep it moving to the next one. All right?
No doubt.
Next one we have is Toronto at Philadelphia. Scary, scary series here. But Toronto has Mark Burley versus Adam Morgan for the Philadelphia Phillies. The under-over is 9 with Toronto heavily favored minus 220, brother. What you got there?
You know what, man? As time goes on, this guy just seems to be, the consummate professional, and Mark Burley is who I'm talking about. 13-5 with a 3.31 ERA. He's one of the older pitchers in the league, I believe. I will have to go do a little bit of homework on that and get back to you a little bit later while we're into somebody else. But I know Burley's been around for a minute, and it's good to see that he's still getting it done, man. Morgan is 3-4 with a 4.11 ERA. The Phillies, you guys know, stink. 27-30 at home. 46-73 all around. I think you could rip up your ticket with them winning the World Series, player. The Blue Jays are 65-54, 26-31 on the road. And like I gave you Burley's numbers already.
Technically, they're not mathematically out yet.
Really? So you still got a shot?
Dude, all of these teams, not one team is mathematically out yet, bro. Which is absolutely crazy. So, I mean, they probably have to win every single game, and whoever's ahead of them has to, like, the top 4 teams that are ahead of them have to lose every game. But technically, they're not mathematically out yet. And you've seen some crazy stuff happen in the past, but I don't think this will be.
He's 36 years old, man. He's one of, like I said, he's been around for a minute. Dude is, 36, so he's still getting it done. So, hey. Whatever his regimen is, it's obviously working.
Yeah, man, 13-5. record. So Toronto 13-2 in their last 15 games. Philadelphia is 1-6 in their last 7. After being the hottest team in baseball, have gone to one of the coldest teams in baseball. Philadelphia 1-10 in the last 11 when playing the Toronto Blue Jays. So when I take a look at this, let's just see what Burley's done in his last few starts. He's actually been halfway decent, man. Had a couple. Had one versus Oakland, 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, and versus Minnesota, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs.
I love Burley makes $20 million. Think he's worried about value? Think he says, well, I don't play something that's minus 220 ever. I don't do those.
Chalk, baby, chalk.
I don't play heavy juice.
All right. Next one we have on the ticket.
Even if it's gonna win.
Next one we have is the New York Mets at the ball.
I'll play a loser for plus 420. I'll give that a shot.
Oh, man. New York Mets at the Baltimore Orioles, man. So Noah Syndergaard on the mound for the New York Mets, and Baltimore is putting on Ubaldo Jimenez. And let's see, the under-over is 7.5 runs. What you got here, Dream?
Interesting series, man. I know you've been watching. Did you get a live looking at any of this?
I did not, but I know DeGrom was lights out last night.
Okay.
You know, I think he lasted 7 2/3 innings, if I remember correctly. Only let up 1 earned run. So it is what it is, man. So
definitely. Only let up 1 earned run. Yep. And he went into 7 innings. Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers now. Yeah, he was lights out last night, and very interesting. We're going to see if Syndergaard can back him up today with the gameplay. As Syndergaard is 7-6 with a 3.07 ERA. Mets 22-34 away, but hey, got it done yesterday. So maybe they're back in the house today. I would advise you to stay away from this particular matchup, though. Orioles are 36-21 at home. Jimenez is 9-7 with a 3.92 ERA.
Baltimore is actually up there as far as the home percentage of winning. They win about 64% of their games at home. So, they do it pretty good at home, man. When you look at this, the Mets are one of the worst teams on the road, even though they got the victory last night. They almost blew it, man. They walked in, their reliever walked in 2 earned runs last night. And Baltimore had the bases loaded with 2 outs, man. Could have actually taken a lead with a hit. So it's kind of crazy, man. The Mets are 12-5 in their last 17 games. Baltimore 4-1 in their last 5 and 4-1 in their last 5 at home. Ubaldo Jimenez, kind of middle of the road, sub-4 ERA. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to stay away from it, Dream.
Okay.
Going to stay away. All right, so I expect Baltimore.
And the Mets got this guy, they have that, I think his last name is pronounced, I hate doing a name and messing it up, but it looks like Familia, which is their closer.
That's their closer, yep.
Yeah, dude, he's like he's in the top 4 closers in Major League Baseball.
I know.
One of the best closers in baseball. And you know what, guys, one thing I have always been a proponent of, and I don't do a lot of baseball stuff, but you got to have a dope closer.
I concur.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? You got to have a dope closer, and I think if you look around, but here's what will make you fall off your chair. Do you know who the number 3 closer is and what team he plays for?
Wow, good question.
It's Kimbrel who plays for the Padres.
Really?
And it's like, dude, and that goes to tell you, for fantasy guys, you could even take a closer from a booty team if he's good, because he's still going to get those 34 opportunities. I mean, he's still going to get the opportunities to close. As long as he cashes on those opportunities, you still can be productive with drafting a booty player if you do fantasy baseball, which I didn't do this year, but I have done in years past.
Good point, man. Maybe that's what you should do to get your juices flowing with baseball, Dream.
I have done it in years past, and I believe it or not, you guys going to find this crazy. I actually like fantasy baseball more than I like fantasy football because it's an everyday hands-on thing. But honestly, with this show and with the time I have to put in the show and then, doing stuff with you and the behind-the-scenes work, dude, there's no time for fantasy baseball.
Absolutely. I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, Familia is the one that walked the 2 runs in last night. Almost blew the game for him. So,
after we talk about
after you plugging them. That's like me saying the Yankees are old and then they go out and do their thing. So
no doubt. But at least you guys, I don't know nothing about baseball, so it's good. So it's good.
Dude, how about this, man? All right, so I actually alluded to the fact that Pittsburgh will win the game last night, okay? And, by 1 run or more. So I did the -1. So Arizona coming at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has the lead, dude, the whole game, bro. Yep. 8-3, right?
Yep.
Lets them come back and go into extra innings, bro, all the way to like the 16th inning, man. And Pittsburgh wins by 1 run. Ugh.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it at 8-8, and I was like, "Whoa, what happened?" Because you're right. I saw it 8-0 or so, at some point. I thought it was like that. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Pittsburgh tied the game up.
Crazy, man. Pittsburgh. So Arizona, man, dude. It's just whenever they're getting up to 500, guys, just go against them and you'll be good. You know what I'm saying? Because now they're 2 games under 500 yet again, Dream. It's amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. It's almost like going in the deep end of the pool and then turning around. That's just kind of how they are, man. Pittsburgh -160 with an under-over of 7.5 runs. Arizona, Robbie Ray versus J.A. Happ of Pittsburgh. What do you got here?
We have Mr. Ray is 3-8 with a 3.29 ERA. The Diamondbacks are 28-31 on the road, 58-60 all around. The Pirates are 70-47 all around, 40-19 at home. Happ is 4-7 with a 4.64 ERA. Dude, the Pirates, something's to be said about them.
23 games over 500, Dream.
Dude, and they're quietly doing it. They're not getting a whole lot of talk. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's just, you know what the problem's been for them? I mean, I don't want to say dude, I'll be honest with you. I mean, 23 games over 500, that's stellar. Yep. Their pitching has not been all that.
Oh, gotcha.
Garrett Cole's been getting blown up a little bit. Laureano had an really shaky start, man. 2-0 right out the gate yesterday. And then actually, I want to say they scored 3 runs on him in the first 2 innings. So I don't know. Now they got J.A. Happ. You got Jeff Locke. I mean, what else you got there? So I think that, like I said, man, like we talked about yesterday, getting a 1-game wild card versus like the Cubs, where the Cubs put Lester or Arrieta on the mound. Pittsburgh could be done.
Okay.
So it's just, that's one thing. Dan always says that their pitching's a little suspect, and I kind of agree with him on that. This game here, guys, I have no interest in this. J.A. Happ, 4-7 record, like you alluded to earlier. Robbie Ray's been halfway decent for the Arizona D-backs. Arizona, now that they're 2 games under 500, probably want to try to get back there. So they've been a thorn in Pittsburgh's side. Pittsburgh's, been, I think they've split this so far, 1 game apiece. So I don't know, man. You know what? Keep it moving. And
my man Yato has just reported that Killer Cam Newton has lost his only weapon. His Kelvin Benjamin is down this morning with a knee injury. So we'll have to keep our eyes out on that, and guys pay attention to that and find out what's going on with it. But he's saying that Kelvin Benjamin.
That's too bad, man. Panthers, yeah, he was incredible.
As Benjamin. A knee injury.
Oh, damn. That's too bad. All right, man. Going to the next one here. Cleveland at Boston. Cleveland, Corey Kluber versus Joe Kelly at Boston. Cleveland -145 with an under-over of 8.5 runs, Dream. What you got here?
Cleveland and Corey Kluber remind me of the Keebler Elves for some reason. When I put the 2 together, I think of the Cleveland, the Keebler Elves.
Yeah.
Kluber is 8-12 with a 3.34 ERA. The Indians are 31-29 on the road, 55-63 all around. Red Sox 53-66 all around, 30-30 at home. Kelly is 5-6 with a 5.69 ERA.
All right, so Kluber in the last couple of outings versus Minnesota, 9 innings, 1 earned run. He had 2 of them versus Minnesota, and then 1 versus Kansas City where he went 9 innings, 5 hits, and 1 earned run. But at the LA Angels, so this is on the road, 5 2/3, 10 hits, 5 earned runs. You know what? Boston is one of them teams that has a very potent offense, Dream. And you know what? If they start rocking you and getting on your case, forget it. They
well,
go.
as they put
nuts.
up 22 runs.
Yeah,
I
right.
think that goes without saying.
3 games, 45 runs in that little series there versus Seattle, and 10 runs versus King Felix. So, guys, you know what? You don't want to mess with this Boston team right now at home. Trust me.
And Sunday got some footage of the Dez Bryant thing that went down yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna post that on our YouTube channel. I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna post.
I love that they said Dez didn't catch any balls, but he caught a lot of rights and lefts.
Oh man. Next game we got on a ticket is the Kansas City Royals at the Cincinnati Reds. Kansas City, Jeremy Guthrie versus Cincinnati's Kavius Sampson. K-Sizzle is slightly favored, minus 115, under over of 8.5. K-Sizzle was actually favored during the show yesterday and then turned into an underdog come the time of the first pitch last night, Dream. So what do you got here?
You got my boy Guthrie on the mound. He's 8-7 with a. I know we're gonna run over, so I just gotta go with this little caveat again, guys. How many people got that friend that can't fight, but that's always starting a fight? Somewhere you're out somewhere, my man is seeing you turn over and look, you're like, oh no, he's not. You know, I'm thinking about this. Always talking trash and can't fight, get punched in the face. But anyway, Guthrie's 8-7 with a 5.63 ERA. The Royals are 72-46. Guys, I've been telling you about this dude. Stay away of Guthrie.
Got you.
All right. Sampson's 2-1 with a 3.18 ERA. The Reds 51-66, 28-27 at home. Guthrie might get through today as the Reds don't really scare you, but there's better games and better situations out there for you. Go out there and find something else. Do me a favor and keep away from this guy.
I agree. I agree 100%, man. You know, when I look at
how are they going into playoffs with him? They got to get him out of that rotation.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Like and K-Sizzle's bullpen has not been all that either. Although they did pretty well last night, but I don't know, man. I mean, they got Cueto, and they got Ventura, and they got Guthrie and the whole package. But I don't know. I don't think this pitching rotation is all that. And like I said, the bullpen has been a little shaky as well. The good news for them offensively, they got kind of the magic going, and at home they're pretty stellar as well, winning. Let's see, about 68% of their games at home. So. That goes to show you something that on the road, let me just see, they're winning, they're a couple of games over 500 on the road, so about 4 games over. So, I don't know, man. You know what? I'm staying away from this, guys. You know what? Kansas City is the better team on paper, as you know. They're 9-2 in their last 11 games. But Cincinnati, hey, they're one of the hungriest sub-500 teams I think that's out there right now. So just be careful and maybe try to get involved in something else. We've got San Francisco at St. Louis. San Fran, Matt Cain versus Jaime Garcia for St. Lucia. St. Lucia minus 175, coming off yet another under at home, Dream. 2-0 loss last night to San Francisco. Under over 7 here. And what do you got here?
All right, we got Mr. Cain coming into town, 2-3 with a 6.05 ERA. Man, those are bad numbers for him, brother. Jeez. Whew. San Fran is 30-30 on the road. The Cardinals 45-19 at home. You know how they get down at home. Garcia's on the mound for them, 5-4 with a 1.57 ERA. Interesting matchup tonight. I would expect Cardinals to get back to business as usual. Yep. Cain, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's not really healthy. I know he came back from an injury, and maybe it's just not. It's not happening for him.
I expect St. Lucia to win tonight. I don't expect them to win by more than 1 run, though, because that's always how they want to do it every single game. So, you know what? Hey, you might want to put that together with another team, to be honest with you, if it was me anyway. But I expect them to get the job done tonight and beat the San Francisco Giants. But, Dream, I want to talk to you about this real quick. I know we're running over, but the LA Dodgers are only 2 games over them in the division. Okay? Now, with the emergence of the Cubs and the Pirates, dude, whoever wins that division, whoever's in second place in that division has a real good shot at not making the playoffs. You believe that?
Yeah. I
so
do.
If San Francisco emerges over the Dodgers will be sitting home, man. Wow. At 8-1 odds to win the World Series, man. I don't I don't know. I think that's a little crazy, to be honest with you, dude. So we'll keep it moving and see what happens with that whole situation, guys. But we'll talk a little bit further as we go. So the next game we have on the ticket here, Dream. Let me just put something else on here, and we'll go from there. I expect St. Louis to win, as I alluded to earlier. Detroit at Chicago. Detroit, Daniel Norris versus Chicago's John Lester. Chicago minus 220 with Lester on the mound, and I don't have a run total yet. What do you got?
I have. I got no numbers for them either.
Okay.
Lester's 8-8 with a 3.21 ERA. Norris is 2-2 with a 4.24 ERA. The Detroit Tigers 29-31 all around, and the Cubs are 29-31 on the road. The 57-61 all around. Cubs are 67-50 all around with 34-25 at home.
All right, so when I take a look at this particular matchup here, guys, you'd expect Chicago to bounce back. I've been talking about, fading Detroit like nonstop here. And, they did get the victory last night, but I think the Chicago Cubs bounce back, get the job done here, and go from there. So let me just take a look real quick. The Cubs, wow, they're unbelievable lately, man. They've been really, really knocking it out of the park, man, as far as they're concerned. And Lester, let me just take a look at what he's been doing as of late. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's look at Lester's last couple of starts. Versus the Brewers, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. Versus San Francisco, 7 innings, 2 earned runs as well. So, hey, Chicago is probably the move here. Although Detroit is one of the top still in the league, Dream, as far as batting average and on-base percentage. So, you might get into a stomachache here and there, so you're probably going to have to pair that with something. The next one we have on the ticket is a game that I love, Dream. And, dude, I couldn't have planned this better. I'll be honest with you. I got Tampa Bay at Houston. I got to get this Houston game under my belt to finalize the series play with Houston, and look who I got on the mound at home, dude. I got Mr. Dallas Keuchel on the mound at home versus Tampa Bay's Nate Carnes. Houston minus 190 with an under-over of 7.5. I think I'm in pretty good shape, Dream.
Right.
What do you got there?
I have Dallas Keuchel, your boy, on the mound, 14-6 with a 2.36 ERA. The Astros are 41-20 at home. I love how you jumped on their bandwagon real quick. Carnes is 7-5.
Just for this series, that's it.
7-5 with a 3.53 ERA. Can't wait for them to win the World Series at hat. Talk about, I got him. That's one of those guys.
Guys, I want to talk about this. All right, now I went on the Ralph Cooper show last Friday, and I told you that the Houston Astros with Dallas Keuchel on the mound at home have been absolutely amazing. All right, when you look at it versus some of the top offenses in the league, versus the Yankees, complete game, 6 hits, no earned runs. This is Keuchel at home. Versus Kansas City, shut them out. 8 innings, 7 hits, 0 earned runs yet again. Versus Texas, 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs. Versus Arizona. Now, these are all in the top 9 offensively in the league. Versus Arizona at home, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs. Versus the Detroit Tigers, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run. Bringing this nasty Tampa Bay team with their pitiful offense. Dude, Dallas Keuchel, you have to ride him until the wheels fall off. At home, I am all over the Houston Astros today, brother. How about you?
All good.
Yeah, you're not feeling it. You're not feeling it.
No.
Okay. All right, gotcha. Can't wait till you take vacation next year during baseball
Me
season.
neither. I can't wait neither.
Hey, 15 days till college football, brother. 15 days.
Doubt. That's what I'm talking about. Wait.
All right, man. But, obviously, if you don't want to lay all that juice, you could probably pair it up with something. You probably get it involved with Jaime Garcia and St. Lucia. That's probably like a stellar play, I got to be honest with you. Washington at Colorado. Washington, Steven Strasburg versus Colorado's Jorge De La Rosa. What you got there, Dream?
All right, we got Strasburg, who is 6-6 with a 4.62 ERA, going up against De La Rosa, who's 7-5 with a 4.75 ERA. The Rockies, who are 26-32 at home, and the Nationals are 28-36 on the road. Very interesting matchup here as well. What are you going to do, brother?
I think Strasburg's back. At San Francisco, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs versus Colorado. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, and versus San Francisco again. You know what? I think Strasburg gets the job done. But being in Coors Field, guys, you know that's one of the craziest parks to hit home runs.
So just take the over.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like anything there, dude.
They clobbered the over yesterday.
They killed it. I know. It was like 20 runs. Like by the time I went to bed, it was like 14-6.
And I was laughing because I was saying to myself last night, I was like, "Oh man, look at the over. The over's got to hit in this." But I didn't get involved. Obviously, I don't like playing baseball that much, but it seems that over is always just the move to just do when they're playing.
What a way for the Washington Nationals to get their offense back in order by going into Coors Field, huh?
No doubt.
Probably hit a couple of home runs and then start feeling themselves again. You know what I mean? So, without Bryce Harper in that lineup, I think they would be absolutely dreadful. They'd probably be like 10 games under, to be honest with you. But I don't know, man. You know what, guys? They're minus 153. I'm going to stay away from that. I don't like the position with I don't like anybody playing Colorado in Coors Field. I really don't, because anything could happen, Dream. Final game we got on the ticket, we got the Chicago White Sox at the LA Angels. White Sox putting Jeff Samardzija versus LA's Jared Weaver. LA minus 145, under over 7.5 runs. What do you got there?
All right, and we have Samardzija on the mound today. He is 8-8 with a 4.78 ERA. Going up against Weaver, 4-9 with a 4.50 ERA. The Angels are 38-23 at home. White Sox are 25-34 on the road.
All right, guys. You know what? I don't like this game one bit. Weaver has not been that great, man. I mean, you heard what Dream's numbers were on him. White Sox 4-9 in the last 13 when playing the LA Angels, and LA Angels are 8-17 in the last 25. Although they've won the first 2 games of this series, I'm not feeling it, and I'm going to stay away, dude. I'm in love with Keuchel on the mound at home, dude. How could you not be? And I think Jaime Garcia is great to pair that with. So I think that's what I'm going to do today, Dream.
All right, man. I don't really mess with guys named Jaime.
Yeah.
Because I keep thinking it's Heine.
Yo, did you hear Donald Trump saying Heidi Klum is no longer a 10?
I know. I saw that. I love Mr. Trump as Trump is running for the spot of presidency. And I'll tell you, you know what? You talk about Trump, one thing I will give him, and I don't know if he's going to be successful. I know we got to get out of here, but the one thing I will give him is he is finding the right topics to bring to the forefront and talk about.
Sure.
And he's being real selective about what he picks, and I like what he's been picking to talk about, and it speaks to the average blue collar guy. But my whole thing with Trump is I just don't believe him.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't believe that. I don't believe that he will do the things that so far he said that he will do. I just don't believe he would do that if he was in office as presidency. I mean, they're all going to lie and say they're going to do things that they can't do, which always happens with all of them, and that I'm expecting. But, I just don't believe that Trump is for the common man as much as he's trying to act like he is.
No, of course not.
And that's just my opinion, obviously. Yeah. But everybody's entitled to what they have, and who knows? He may win me over, as a few of his topics have seemed to be dead on, and a few of his positions have. But listen, we got to get out of here. Big shout out to everybody retweeting the show. My boy MG86. Me and you got to do some rap talk later on if you want. Vegas Girl 92661. Good morning to you, honey. How are you today? Big Squeaks Picks out there. Niner Nation's out there. Key MVU, LA Whiskey, Justin Hernandez, Christos, JDH24, Randy Lockhart. Always a pleasure to see you up this morning. Nick Oristis. Hey, welcome to the party, players. I haven't seen your name over the last few days. James H. Thompson's out there. G. Rose, Randy Comic, Snoopy Betts, Clubman Swag. Thank you for your help with the information. Immaculate Total Sports says Jeff Ryan, Rich Nichols, BT Benjamin Road, Dooms Night, Shy Picks, Rick Lopez, Marlon Irvin, the Canadian Capper, INT, JC, Average Joe Punter, P for Prez, Heavy 365, Sir Mata, Carl Restavo, 5-1, C. Rodriguez Jr., Nicholas J. Spot Bet, Sin City Maverick, OJFB, Sir Rock King J, Lone Star Ombre. Also, Mr. Postal P. Big shout out to you, and I hope everything's all good with your brother-in-law. As I just saw that you posted some wreckage from an accident that happened on the weekend. So hopefully everybody's safe and your family out there. Yato, good morning to you as well. And that's about it. Guys, we're going to get out of here. As always, I am the Dream. Remember who you're with and make the most of each and every day, as you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, we are the hashtag SBTVNation on every single day in your face with all your sports news, all your fantasy, all your wagering, and so much more. We love you to death. Go out there, go easy, do your own homework, play your own plays, make all your dreams a reality, and get that money. Let's go.